Hey folks, this is an intro into, obviously, we've got the Trapper on the screen. We're doing our very first matches with Trapper. Little disclaimer, we actually did play as Trapper a long time ago. Back when we first started playing the game. We played, I think, a couple of times, a few times, I'm not really sure. It didn't go very well because what I remember is I was on Yamalka Estate. I set a trap at the bottom of the stairs. It wasn't a very good trap, it was way out in the open, people could see it. I decided, well, I'll place the trap here, then I'll go across to the gen there. Then I changed my mind after I set the trap and turned around and walked right back into my trap. So yeah, that didn't go so well. The Trapper is, the reason why I'm playing this is because I want to get Trapper out of the way. Which kind of gives you an idea of what I think is Trapper. Now, mentally, Trapper is he's same speed as Freddy, and his reach is the same as there. He's like he lunge forward his reach. There's the same as Freddy as well, so that should be good in chases there. I can basically the same thing I would do with Freddy is probably what I would do with Trapper. But at the same time, Freddy can get around the map quickly, Trapper can't get around the map. If you remember the Hag video, Hag would set traps, but when a survivor would trigger the trap, the Hag could teleport to the trap and get across to the map, across to the trap faster. Trapper doesn't have that, Trapper has to manually walk to the trap. As you can see the trap in the hands on the right hand side, you basically lay them down, you set them down and survivors can get caught in the bear traps. That's basically what it is, but it's not exactly an easy thing to do, I feel like. Because I went up against Trapper a lot, and Trapper... There are some maps where I don't like to go up against Trapper, like Backwater Swamp for example, but most of the time, Trapper is actually not that hard to go up against, really, unless the person's like really got a great memory for how people move around maps and stuff like that. That's the only way. If someone's like really good at the game, really experienced at the game, they might have an idea of how to move around the map. Which leads me to saying that I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to play this, because there's basically three ways to play Trapper, I think. The first way would be to try and set up a free gen, because I don't have Corrupt Intervention here, because I'm obviously using Trapper's free perks to begin with here, because we're going to try and add Adept achievement as well. But, like I always do in my first team matches, we'll come back to that in a second. But there's three ways to play Trapper. Trapper, you can set up a free gen, since I don't have Corrupt, I can try to do that. I can put traps around gens. I was going to say gens around traps, but traps around gens, and then basically see how that goes. But that's very risky because you're letting the survivors get a head start basically with the gens they're doing, and that could backfire, especially when you're new to the killer as well. Because it has been, even though I have played Trapper in the past, we're talking about a year ago here, so I've really not played Trapper in a long time. We're talking about a year, and I can't remember how many matches I did. I think I quickly moved over to Spirit pretty quickly. There I got away from Trapper pretty quickly. So I'm not sure that's the best idea. Option 2 would be to try and use traps while I'm chasing survivors to put them down there. But if a survivor sees me put the trap down, they're just going to move on to the next tile, which could be a benefit if it's a really strong tile and I want them to move on. That could help, but I don't think that's the way to go. I think option 3 might be the way to go, where I try and anticipate how people are going to move around the map. But if you've watched me playing beforehand, then you'll know that I'm an instinct player. I don't really remember the maps. That's why I use Windows of Opportunity when I play Survivor, so I can see the windows, vaults and everything. So me trying to remember the maps, and I think I'm going to approach it like, how would I move around this? I'll try and put the traps at some strong tiles, maybe. I have to do it without seeing, but here's the other problem as well. It takes time for me to set traps, so as a killer you really need to find that survivor pretty quickly. Then you need to snowball and get that person down, get a hook, then snowball the hooks after that as well. You can basically keep doing that one after there. Speed is a big thing as a killer. And taking time out to set traps here and there during the match, that's problematic. Because while you're doing that, the survivors are freely doing the gens, so that's difficult. Also, his perks, well, agitation allows you to get to the hook a lot faster. Material radius is increased as well. Brutal strength allows me to destroy pallets quicker, which is good in a chase. Unnervous presence. Basically, this means material radius. Survivors within material radius have a 10% greater chance of triggering skill checks while repairing the healing. Trigger skill checks success zones are reduced by 50%. So that could be beneficial. That you might slow them down a little bit, but most people really know how to do skill checks. Yeah, so I don't really see me getting much value out of that, but it is one of these perks, so we're going to use it. Add-on wise, we've decided to stick with the common ones for a moment. Since we're going to try and set traps without being seen, I've decided to go with bear oil and set bear trap as silent. Plus I have a ton of these ones down here as well. So we're going to try that first. Also, the trapper cannot be caught in his bear traps. Remember earlier I said we're a summon bear trap? If I do that, it disarms it, basically, and I can move on, so that's not a problem. So that way, if I'm in a chase and I set a trap, I don't have to worry about stepping in it myself. Basically, so that gives me an option there. I'm pretty much just going to make this up as a corner figure. That's pretty much what I'm going to do. I sort of have a plan in my mind, but I'm going to try and, to begin with, basically maybe trap some paths to gens where we're spawning, or maybe some loops nearby depending on where we're spawning. It really depends on the map I get as well. I hope I get Backwater Swamp. I did think about putting an offering in for there, but actually, one, I don't actually have any map offerings except Springwood, apparently, which is bad enough pre-skill. I have the Forsaken Boneyard for some reason, that's interesting. I must have increased them to 40 after FMA. One other thing as well is you've got to admire my skin here. This is very cool. Actually, two other things, because remember I forgot about the Adepts. But there, this is pretty cool. I actually have a lot of different options here for them. Here, I was a bit surprised here. I've got so many friggin' masks. Got a ton of them. There's so many cool ones I have. I gotta admit, these masks are pretty cool, but I really like this one, it's very cool. Makes me, the face makes me think of the fin. Hello, it makes me think of that actually. The face, it's pretty cool. Anyway, so yeah, Adept wise, what I've discovered is, since I pretty much, it's my first time as a killer and I'm not as good with a killer, I don't really get kills in my first 3 matches a lot of the time. Or maybe I don't, I might do, I might not do. But anytime I don't get any kills in a game, my MMR goes down. So eventually it goes on to a point where the survivors are, well, they're not high MMR, they're basically, it gives me a chance to basically do Adept. And I've discovered that with when I did my first time matches with Hag and Ghostface Hag. I got the Adept on my 5th match with her, and I got Adept in my 4th match with Ghostface. So I'm thinking this is the way to go with trying to get Adept achievements. Because I did it with Spirit and Nightmare and Legion and Plague, who I've played a lot more. And it was a nightmare. It took ages, especially with Spirit. It took me ages to get Spirit's one. I'm not entirely comfortable with these perks. I have nothing to slow them down. I don't think this is going to go well. I think this is going to be kind of embarrassing, but we're going to try and figure out Trapper in the next 3 matches, and you're going to join me. So, oh, we've got about a 9-minute intro here, but we had a lot to talk about here. So anyway, yeah, I'll see you at the beginning of the first match. Just a word, so not too bad. Yeah, not sure. We actually thought about putting traps down when so I've only got 2 traps on me at the moment. Okay. He went into the house there. Right, he's winning the power. Okay, I'll go Brutal Strength. Someone's upstairs with the gen as well. gen gone, there'll be a second gen in the building too. This is going to be brutal because... No, he's just going to wait at the... It's got dead hard. On the hook, so... Oh, I forgot what the flashlight using. Wait, there's no... Is basement here? No fucking hell, seriously? There's like no hook there. He's gonna kick out. Yeah, because there was no fucking hook there, man, jeez. There's like no hook because of the fucking hill. That was bullshit. Fucking hell. Oh, what did I tell you? And there's no friggin' hook here, man. It's fucking ridiculous, cause it's because of that fucking hook up in the hill. I have agitation too as well, which I'm not used to using. This is the problem with Trapper folk. He absolutely sucks ass. Like space to collect. Down the fucking there, that many gens, man. This is why Trapper sucks so fucking ass. You have people who are there. Remember, this is my first match with Trapper in a year. So you know, fucking rubbish, so it is. Crazy, so it is. I got screwed with the bloody... Feel so screwed with the damn... I mean, wait, how the fuck? How did they get past the traps without... How the fuck did they do that? How did they miss my traps? Like, seriously? Fucking BS. Am I tunneling here? I think I am, or not? This is a bloodbath, so we may as well just head off here. Can't actually remember. Clearly we screwed that up. So mad over the fucking trap. The hook even, I should say, not the trap. Clearly I didn't set the traps right. He's got fucking god power everywhere. Why is he going in there? Has he got more god powers over here? And he's out at the exit. Might as well just wait here. I got friggin' owned. I told you this would be bad. Trapper is so fucking bad in this game. It's ridiculous, so it is. I got one hook. But props to the survivors. They did gens. That David run me pretty good. I don't know what the fuck that was though. I don't know what else I could have done there. I got screwed with the fucking hook, man. All because of this fucking hill here. Because there was a mound there, but I didn't notice it at first. I was hoping for basement. There, and I screwed it up. Big time. Myself. Wait. I didn't know it was here. Dude, just leave. Like, seriously, just put me in my fucking misery and leave. Dude, just leave. Seriously, come on. I don't understand survivors that do this. They're waiting for me to fucking come over there, like, just get the fuck out. I don't want the hits, man, dude. I want you to get the fuck out. Oh, I'm so fucking mad. I'm mad at how we performed in the game. And I'm mad at these survivors. Why do survivors have to wait around? I don't friggin' get it. Like, what is the fucking point? Just get the fuck out. I don't get it. They always have to wait at the exit until you chase them out. Fucking idiots, man. I'm mad. Yeah, I'm displeased as well. I got one hook. I knew eventually doing this series could be embarrassing. But, like, really? That was awful. But in my defense, they did the gen so fucking fast that basically I got ran by David for so fucking long. I'm not going to say GG because they kept me waiting at the fucking exit for ages. But I'm mad about that. I don't know what else I could have done there. I could have obviously got David down quicker, but I don't know. I definitely didn't do right by the traps. He must have came through the window and around. I must have, because I was a bit sceptical with that trap placement in there, because I wasn't quite sure where to put it to avoid it. Because I noticed when they actually left the hook and ran past, they actually went past that trap as well. Unless they... Wait. By any chance... Setting a bear trap is silent. Does that mean when it's... No, I don't think. I'll need to go back and watch it, but I don't think that would mean that for me. Would, I don't think it would mean that. Oof, this is going to be rough, folks. I really have no idea. I know there's guides and everything out there on trap and how to play it, and I probably should watch them. But the whole point of the first time is to go in cold, basically, and swim it. And I just got owned badly there, so it's kind of embarrassing, but it's even more proof that Trapper is probably the worst killer in the game, I think, along with Hag. At least with Hag, you do have traps there, because in the first 3 matches I struggled a lot with Hag. But in the 4th match, I realised, okay, but let's try. I tried putting traps at the hooks, and that went really well, because as soon as the traps, basically, Hag's traps have a wider radius. There, basically, people can walk around the traps, Trapper's traps, but they can't with the Hag's traps. And there's a wider range on them, so I don't know how to try and get this working. I did go into the House of Death with David at the end there. Yeah, basically, people say that building there is one of the worst buildings in the game. The third board is probably one of the worst killer maps, has killer versions of the Asylum as well. There's other Asylum maps where I've actually played as killer beforehand and done really well too, but that building in there is tough. A lot of people tend to avoid it. I maybe should have went for the injured David at the end there instead of actually for me, because I was down at 1 gen. They did pop gens really fast, so not every team's going to be like that, I would think. I would hope anyway. Oof. I'm always thinking, right, I've got to there's an achievement for Trapper as well, where I've got to catch 100 survivors in his trap. And right now I'm thinking to myself, how the friggin' hell am I going to do that? I think Trapper, maybe these add-ons up here is what I should be using, basically here. Deflect mango and trap survivors. Yeah, increase time required for survivors to disarm bear traps by 50%. Start with one extra bear trap, allows for transportation of one extra. That sounds like a good one. One extra trap, that would be helpful. Yeah, we've got this here, bear traps, hemorrhage. There's a new hemorrhage changes coming in actually to the game in the next mid-chapter release, so that would actually be good. Escape, they're inflicted with deep wound, which means I've got to heal. Okay. Yeah, unless it's mended, so they have to actually mend, which takes more time off gen, so that would be a good one to use. This here alone way, that would be a good one to use, I think. Yeah, let's try that, since we do have a lot of them. Let's try them, see how that goes. A lot of killers are add-on dependent, and well, Trapper is definitely going to be add-on dependent, so yeah. We got on in the first match, let's hope we do a little better in the second match, we'll see at the beginning of that. Hey folks, I know you were expecting match 2, but reluctantly I've decided not to show match 2. I'm very sorry for that, but honestly I just didn't want to showcase the survivors I went up against in match 2. You saw how I reacted to people not leaving the exit at the end of the match 1, it annoys me when people do that. Sadly in match 2 we were on Grave of Gillingville, and what I can say is, they popped gens pretty fast. It wasn't any better than this match. What match 1 was like match 2, except with a couple of hooks. But unlike the survivors in match 1, match 2 came with a toxic flavour. Basically, I finally got a hook after a while. Then remember I've got agitation. Then I had people swarming over me. I had someone trying to stab with the hook. And this is with a teammate of theirs on a trap nearby as well. So instead of going to get the person out the trap, they basically interfere with me hooking the player, which I find cheap. I think that's cheap of survivors to do that. Especially, and yeah, I can understand it in endgame, but to do it during the 5 gens, to me, I just think that's cheap. It's hard enough as it is for a killer. But after that, I then got quite frustrated because I was obviously frustrated I didn't get the hook. When I was frustrated by the time I got to the trap, someone did go to the trap and actually get the person out. And then as soon as I got there, they dead hard right through me. Perfectly timed dead hard, I must admit. And anyone knows there, a sign of hackers is basically people who actually perfectly timed dead hard. Like literally flawless dead hards. And as there was another flawless dead hard later in the game as well. So I'm not saying they were hacking, I don't know for certain, but there was a couple of dead hards looking back on it and watching the video thinking to myself, maybe. Now admittedly I did kind of trigger things off because after my frustrating losing the hook and getting dead hard through, I did finally get the person who dead hard through down, and then I hit the person on hook a couple of times. Which was wrong of me to do that, I shouldn't have done that, but what the survivors then done after that was, quite frankly, something I think they would have done in the first place anyway. They basically started teabagging everywhere. We had 2 flashlight users as well. Ooh, it was just ridiculous. It was one of the worst groupie survivors I went up against as a killer in a long time. I haven't seen survivors this toxic in a long time. It was frustrating. So basically, we have, I say basically too much I realise, but we have decided reluctantly not to show match 2 and only go with 2 matches in this here. Which sucks, it's not exactly what I wanted, but at the same time, I know it's ironic enough to say this, but if you saw the match you would understand, it was just really bad. We even had a Fen at the end in the match, basically, who would refuse to leave and was constantly teabagging. We were standing at the exit, we weren't even going to bother, and she just kept teabagging me. There, she was actually standing within the map, not in the exit, but actually with there. They were actually teabagging before the last gen was done as well. We managed to get her down at a pallet, but we had 2 flashlight users. We had one in front of us and one behind us. We knew basically there, so we were trying to catch them out. We got blinded before we even picked them up, one of the people actually managed to blind us. And while that happened, the other person behind us came in and picked the person up as well. So all around it was just cheap survivors, and I got triggered by it. I had a person on hook, and I think that triggered them off, and they went basically extreme toxic as well. And it just wasn't a fun match, and it's not a fun match I want to showcase on my channel, basically. So I hope people understand that. If you don't, you don't. Sorry. Anyway, match 3 coming up. Oh, not much for match 3. I forgot to say something else in the little thing there, but basically we moved off to them in the comms. Never said anything. We did move off to them. That's not how you do that, Sean. Put that one there. I don't know if that would work or not. Let's pipe that on. Let's put that there. This might help us at some point. Some traps out here would be a good thing. The good thing is eventually our MMR is going to go down. I didn't see any flashlights in the lobby, so we should be able to start to do something eventually. Let's get back and check this gen. Pick up that trap. There was someone else around here. There, I see. Can I get past that without stepping on? If I can. You go, dude, on you go. How did you miss that? How did you miss that? Seriously? That trap, even I missed it as well. Like, how? That trap's been disarmed as well. Oh fuck, messed that up. I thought it was a different place. When you're in trouble here then, because you're in a dead end. Okay. Midwich is a smaller map, but I feel like it's taking ages getting around picking up traps as well. I'm only having 2 traps, I think, because look at that, I've got 1 up there, 2 there. I need to be, I'm pretty much essentially a mouse one killer. I do need to kill James' challenge actually. Yeah, I feel like I'm just a mouse one killer, because why does he not have more traps? You would think a big bulky dude like this would be able to carry more than 2 traps. Yep. I know that hiding spot. Oh, there. Oh! No! I think she dead her there. There's a pallet right there for her as well. That's the first gem. Yeah. It's pointless picking up traps, I feel like. That's just slowing me down and putting me in the air. I don't see how that's going to work. I'm going to have to nice one up. I'm going to get Adept, so I'm going to have to pick up this trap. I don't know, maybe I can do something. I've got 3 traps. The reason why I can carry 3 traps is because I can basically... I think it's going to be here. No, they won't. She must have been around here. And he's staying near the hook as well, I think. This kind of sucks. At least these survivors are not, can't even think of the word, is there a pallet here? No, no, it's the other side. She's gonna go jump down. Oh, nice. Alright, that's, I know you're there. Dead hard. Really good at that. I won't be able to get the flashlight safe now. No one came in with a flashlight, nice. We got such good value out of that trap, innit? It's hard to see that trap. Maybe I should have picked it up first. Actually. Seem to be doing. This is what I miss. Oh, she's on second hook. You see, I might actually get a kill in this video. I don't want to camp the hooks. I don't want to do that. I used to do that. I don't care how bad trap. Oh god, all the chains are upstairs. I need to go back up. I really don't want to camp the hooks. But apparently I am. That was a nice play by her. Real nice play by her, actually. I just saw someone in front of me. I should have followed borrow time there. He seems to be pretty good at it. Set to just help forward. I think I need to cut. Maybe one more gen. Wow, I'm gonna get fast in a chase, I'm not. Okay, so I think mouse 1 is the best idea with Trapper. I really do. But where is a hook here? Where the fuck is a hook? Seriously? There's no fucking hooks. Just as well got fucking agitation in there. Like seriously, why is there no fucking hook when I miss a hook down there? Did I seriously miss a hook down there? There's none over there. There's none in this corridor here. Way down there. Why is there no friggin' hook at this corner here? Seriously, behaviour? What the fucking hell? Ridiculous. I've got more chilled survivors here somehow. My is starting to go down here. So, we're able to do something. We need to get upstairs though. Okay, actually. That gen up there is getting done, so we need to get up to that gen. Oh, flashlight user. There's one over here. Fuck it, why not? If I'm not picking them up, may as well. Fuck! Can I get to there? Can I get to there on time? forgot to I put that one in the front at the start there. Well, there goes the idea. You need to put 3 people at the start. Oh, she's dead. Get fucking down there. He's a big doughboy, this guy. She didn't do much in protecting her, did she? He's trying to get to that hook, I think. Looks like she is, anyway. I don't trust it, so I'm going over here. Activation is good for getting to these hooks, I must admit. We need to put traps in places where they're not going to see them. We need to get back upstairs to there and put traps in that. And that way at least we know someone's going to be there, I think. Wait, why can I not put it right there? Seriously? You're going to restrict me on the traps? Fucking hell. Let's put it there. You get to the hour gens. Probably shouldn't have actually dropped back down there, but I want to step in my own trap. I have 2 traps on me. Let's pick up trap. Let's go to this gen. Okay, there's no one here. Right, so let's get a trap here. So I do catch someone at that. What was that locker about? Is it that one over there? Still regressing. Don't hear that one. Reset. We need to get the traps where they're basically going away from them or running them away, so when they go to the trap, seriously, you can't put it right up against that. Seriously? It's fucking ridiculous, isn't it? What are these survivors doing? Oh, he fell down and said it. I think I hear crows to my left there. I think someone might be idle. That could be what that alert is. If he gonna fall for the trap up here? Yep. Right, let's not share it right now. Now people are caught in that trap. Right. He's dead. So let's set this trap again. Actually, that's collecting it. Seriously, what the hell is going on? That's an idle player, I think. I did hear someone in a locker. What the fuck is going on with these two? I don't know what's going on there, but it seems like the two are having a bit of a battle here. I don't think this will be enough for Adept. They clearly were. Maybe it is enough for Adept. Oh, there's Hatch. I don't think that would be enough for Adept for that. Oh, it is. I just got a Adept Trapper. I can't believe I got I followed up the first two matches with a Adept Trapper. I can't believe that just happened. Clearly there's something going on with the two people, the two female avatars. Like seriously, what in the hell? This is the thing with MMR. Clearly my MMR started too high in Trapper, and that's why I struggled in the first two matches. Second match, we're not going to talk about that, but I'm pleased to follow this up with this. Now I can actually get some decent perks. I'm tempted to ask what happened with Fimit, but I don't think I want anything to do with it right now. We're going to come out this screen basically because I don't know. I feel like I kind of got help there because Meg and Zarina were basically having a Fimit. It seemed like Zarina was teabagging earlier in the match, and Meg teabagged after I downed Zarina, which I left Zarina because I didn't want to tunnel. Get Zarina one up. Yeah, it is Zarina, huh? Yeah, I'm sure it should have. Can't believe I just got Adept. But clearly there's something going on with the two, because she wasn't letting Meg out the locker. So I think she just screwed Meg over the locker there. I think that may have been the case there. If that is true, that's probably something we should report. Because that's not nice, that's not good. But I don't really know what happened. I don't know if anything else happened in between there. And no one's saying anything in the chat here, so I don't know, but something seemed definitely off there. But you can see what I mean with skill-based matchmaking. The first two matches, they set my MMR rating too high for me as a trapper. But after getting owned in the first two matches, I basically, now my MMR's at a point where I got survivors who I was able to deal with. Because they're at my level, basically, for the level I'm at with Trapper, and I managed to get a Adept Trapper. This video has actually turned out to be a perfect example of Dead by Daylight. My very first match was basically too high, MMR was too high with a killer. That shows you a flaw in the skill-based matchmaking. Match 2 shows you the toxic side of the game. And match 3 shows you that eventually, if you get through the first couple of matches as a killer, you will actually get to survivors who you can actually deal with. Although I do think I may have got an assist there. And I got Adept in my third match here. I do think you need to play Trapper. We're going to come out of this here actually when we're going to finish this video off. We've done a lot of talking in this video, we'll keep talking a bit more here. But yeah, Trapper, I feel like in a chase he's pretty good. I do feel it. I'm on Midwich there, that's the smallest map in the game, so I did get lucky there with that map draw. Because I'm pretty sure no one brought a map offer in there. But we did get lucky with that map offer. Because a map like that, Trapper can actually do something in a small map. But bigger maps, like you saw in the first two against really good survivors. Well, the real fact of this game is survivors work really well together and they're efficient on the gens. And 10 out of 10 times they're going to win. The killer isn't going to get many hooks, that's just the game. But if they don't work too well together, like you saw in the last match, there seemed to be an issue with Meg and Zarina, then basically you can do really well and get an Adept achievement. So yeah. So our first matches ended up with Adept achievement there. But we did manage to get some some value in the last one. I feel a bit more positive for one. The second match we're not going to say anything more about. You saw there, I've shared my piece on that. We'll do a video regarding the toxic stuff in the game at some point. I've been wanting to record one since last summer, but I haven't done so. because it's not really something I want to talk about, but we're going to talk about it then, and I'm talking about it now. So let's go back to Trapper. So Trapper, as a killer, I would say right now for me, out of the killers that I've played, he's definitely in the bottom tier, the very bottom tier. I would put Hag ahead of him. I think Hag and Trapper are at the bottom tier. Now, Hag, if you put traps, Hag is actually slightly higher if you put Hag or traps around hooks. Basically, there's quite a wide range for triggering the traps on there. Certainly a wide range. As you saw, basically, they kept going around the guy went basically, and Yoshi, the new survivor, basically went around my trap at the family there. So it's very difficult to catch people in traps. You've really got to hide them and really think about where to place them. That's something that really hurts Trapper a lot. Because Hag, at least with Hag, there's a range and you can actually teleport over there. Trapper can't do that. He has to walk to there. Small map, that's not so bad. The bigger maps, that's going to be rough. Yep, that'll be rough. I don't know how you do that. I feel like Mouse 1 is probably the best way to play Trapper actually. And just occasionally put traps down in spots where you think, oh, this could be a really good spot to put down in. And you saw that with the trap at a place at the top of the stairs. I got a lot of value in that trap there for sure, but that is, I think, the way to play Trapper. Add-ons wise, having the extra trap is useful. They really need to give him a buff basically and allow him to carry more traps. Because this big guy here, he's like a really tall guy. I'm pretty sure he can carry more than 2 traps. I was carrying 3 traps because I put an add-on on for 1 extra trap. I'm pretty certain he can carry 3 traps, more than 3 traps. I'm pretty certain he can carry about 8 traps at one time. I think so. You can basically have traps attached to him in places. Yeah, I can see that, like a kind of waistband for traps. You can click onto it. I can see that possibly happening basically with the traps. But I think they're trying to put it to a point there because he is carrying a weapon and he's carrying the 2 traps in his hands. So I think that's the reason why they're doing it on these 2 traps, because it's more realistic. But it's more logical that way, but you have to sometimes weigh up logic with gameplay. And 2 traps just isn't enough. You think about it, Hack can, I think isn't it 8 or, I haven't played Hack for a little while. My memory's really bad. I'm pretty sure it's 8 or 10 traps that Hack can do. So imagine Trapper with at least 6 traps carrying. Even just 6 traps would be better. And a lot, or either they do that or they put a lot more traps in the map for him to get, basically, because he has to go around quite a distance. Wasn't so bad in the Midwich, but in the earlier maps, that's difficult. We got anything else to add to this? I don't know. We definitely have a mixed bag of matches on this here. Glad we finished it off with Adept achievement, folks. That little sorry part in the Fimi, we might actually delete. We did record. We're going to delete that. We did record the sorry part in between the match 2 and match 3, but you're not going to see that now. We are going to say sorry for kind of the way we dealt with that second match. We need to work on that. We need to get better at dealing with the toxic side of the game here. But I expect too much from people, basically, and that type of behaviour bothers me. Now I mentally I did hit the person in the hook there, so I did stuff as well, but that was the only thing that I did. They did a whole lot of thing there, and I truly believe they would have done that whether I had the person on the hook or not. Sadly, there's just some survivors like that, but that's the game there. As I said, the first match shows you an example of skill-based matchmaking when you first start as a killer. It's not good at all. If behaviour on the off chance that sees this or anyone from behaviour, which I think is already unlikely that will happen, but if they were, you need to have a 0, basically a 0 on killers. And anyone who's not played a killer, one of the killers at all, should be a 0 right from the get-go when they first start playing. Whatever the lowest MMR rating is, what equivalent to 0, that's what killers people who have not played should always be at. My understanding is you do an average, and you can see in the first match that doesn't work out well. It's very frustrating, and that's not what you want. You want people to enjoy the first match. Basically, the first match is with a killer. I didn't enjoy the first match, and I didn't enjoy the second match. Although admittedly the survivors I faced in the second match had more to do with that. But even then, I was still frustrated because I was struggling on the map. But I think I've realised that probably the best way to play Trapper is to actually mouse 1, I think. Because he is actually pretty fast to chase. Agitation is a really good perk on him because Agitation Brutal Strength. Because I would actually, let's have a look here, let's see if I can put, like, what else here? I'm going to keep Agitation on here, Brutal Strength, but what else do we actually have? Discordance was let us know 2 survivors. Revine Grasp. Hex Ruin, No Ed, Surveillance on their presence. Enduring, Monster Shrine. We don't really have a lot of perks here. Ruin would be pretty good, but that would go pretty quickly. We need definitely better perks on him. Spice from Shadow would be bad. You know what would be really good? Deadman Switch. I'm going to be committing to chases a lot. Bamboozle would be an interesting perk to put on him. I think in one hand you might want to, like, Ruin Discordance wouldn't be so bad. Actually, Collie Brine would be better than Ruin. Collie Brine Pop would be really good. Corrupt I don't have. Discordance, Hex, Ruin, Brutal Strength, Agitation. Sometimes you can get, if you can get really good Ruin value, then that would actually really be good, but it's hit or miss with boons in the game these days. It's mostly a miss on Xyz these days. But I'm thinking something like Agitation. I'd probably exchange out Brutal Strength and put Corrupt in. Corrupt, Agitation, Bamboozle, and admittedly I'm thinking Fire Up could be interesting on Trapper. Because Fire Up means basically you get faster with gens done. Trapper is going to lose gens, for sure. So you can try and slow them down, or you can just commit full on to chases. Bamboozle will block windows as you're going through them to help you. Brutal Strength gets you through the pallets quicker. Agitation gets you the hooks faster, so you can find someone else, but you don't really have any perks. But there is the auras of the generates. You know they're going to be somewhere around the gens. It would be interesting, actually. Agitation, Brutal Strength, Fire Up, and Bamboozle. I could probably do that in Nightmare, but Nightmare's powers and gens, so him having gen perks, basically like Ruin and Discordance, is good. Kinda interesting idea. I think at some point I would like to try that out, but I'm using my blood points elsewhere, so that's going to be quite a while away. But just an idea I'm throwing out there. There is fun to be had with Trapper if you like chases, I would say, because that's basically, essentially he's a mouse one killer. Essentially, who can occasionally put traps in some space. As you're going around, you put traps. Yeah, he's a mouse one killer, and you put traps in places where they're not going to see it. Basically, like at the top of the stairs. Last video. Anyway, I think that's it for the Trapper video. I've also got the Adept video on this one as well done, so I'm really happy about that. Which is good because I'm actually currently putting Adept videos out on my YouTube at the moment, so this one can go in with them. Anyway, if you enjoyed this YouTube, which was quite an eventful video, so if you did enjoy it, then please like the video. If you want to see future content like this one, please subscribe for future content, and until next time, you'll take care.